Okay, so the long-awaited update to our workout tracking feature is now live. I want to show you a couple ways of how you can leverage this when you're creating your classes. So when you're down here and creating your sections, whether you're doing it on here or you're doing it from the program view, it's all going to be the same, but I wanted to show you some of the new stuff here. So you go to add section. Again, this pop-up is available in the program view. You're going to come through here and you're going to see a new thing called Lift Complex. And if you click Lift Complex, you're going to have two options. One, sets and reps. So it could be like 3 by 5. Or if you just do custom, it's just going to be asking you basically how many total sets. And you'll see what that looks like here in a second when I show you how the scoring works. But basically what we're allowing you to do now is track how many those sets and reps, and then you can put individual weights or whatever you need to do as you're tracking, and it's going to go right into your movement history now versus just being a PR. You can actually track some other things. So once you've set this, maybe you want to do like a 3 by 5, you click assign lift if you want it to be assigned to a lift specifically. Let's say this is back squat. You come in here and hit select. Now under select, you can have any of your rep maxes, or if it's not a rep max and you're just wanting to record it in your history underneath this movement, you just go record lift, no PR. And what that will do is when it records it, will show it in the history. Again, I'll show you this here shortly, but it allows you to then not look at it as a PR. It's not looking to see if you're beating one of those PRs, so to speak. Now, if you're going to do something different, you want to do custom. Let's just add another score here. And you wanted to do custom. It would be very similar. You could assign, so we do front squats, and then we're going to maybe assign a 5 rep max or something. Great. So now both those scores will be set up independently. And then when you get into your actual class, it's going to look something like this. So you can see here, I set up a sets and reps and a custom. So if I go in and go to the results, you'll see, okay, now it's automatically giving me my first weight, my second weight, my third weight. This is now also defaulted to your default. If in your own settings, you can say, do you want the metric or imperial systems? Obviously, pounds would be for us. We were just testing this. So kilos is what I have as my default right now. That should be helpful. And then divisions are now custom as well. So you can have RX and scaled or whatever divisions you like. And I'll show you that here shortly. But you can enter in your weights, save your scores. And then the same thing for custom. But custom's just a little bit different because you have your reps, but also your weight. That way, you know that we have we're doing 5 different lifts here, and you can put in different weights for each one. So anyway, that's how those work. I'll show you here how the scoring and everything else works here on the app side of things here in a moment. Okay, when you are looking to take advantage of the features that have been updated for workout tracking, one of the first things you're going to do is go into your account. And when you're editing your specific account, you can scroll down and you can see under default weight and default distance, you got a couple different things. So I have mine set to metric. You can have yours set to imperial and miles and things like that, if that's what you like. When you're done, obviously, you're going to hit save on that. The next thing to notice is under results, instead of it saying PRs, now it just says movements. So we've kind of changed this thinking a little bit to be tracking everything that you have, not just specifically PR. So you can see all this different history that's in here. I can add results right from here, but this isn't basically probably where you're going to be adding them most of the time, but it's just good to know that it exists and it's there now. Going back to your typical class structure, if lift complexes have been used as a scoring mechanism, you're going to have one of two options. You're going to have something that's like a sets and reps. So when you go put your results in, it's going to automatically ask you what your weights were. So you could be like, I did 125 for the first one, I did 150 for the second one, and I did 175 for the third one. Not that much. And then you choose your division. You can see here I have RX Plus, RX, and Scaled because I added that custom. It always comes with RX and Scaled, but RX Plus is something that was added manually as a separate option. So I'm just going to choose RX. I'm going to hit Save Scores. And then I can see the second option, which is Lift Complex Custom. If I go to Actions and go to Results here, I can see it's going to ask me for both reps and weight. And you can see that my default here, kilos, is already built into there. But what's nice about that is now I can come in here and say, I knew I did 5, 4, 4, and then 3 or something. And then I can put my different weights in. Maybe I did 125, I did 135, I did 150, 125 again, maybe 135 again, and then I went up to 150. Who knows? Something like that. Choose your division, save. All right, so what's cool about that is once those scores go in, you can see here that when you refresh the screen, I can click on these and I can now see all the individual weights that I did, as well as going into here, I can now see that those scores are in here if I want to go ahead and touch on those as well. So it's kind of cool. It helps to make tracking a little bit better. And the last thing I'll show you is really this cool thing called compare history. So now it's going to default up at the top. You can see the back squat, which was the lift that was assigned. So I can go into back squat. If I want to see my actual history, I can, change it around. I can see different things like that. And here I can even expand and see that data. So that's all my back squat history. Now, if I wanted to switch something out and go, to bent over row or something, I can switch it. And again, there's my history. So now compare history allows you to really go in and look at the history of any movement you've done, but it will default to, like, this one should be front squat. If I go to compare history, see it defaults to front squat because it was assigned to that specific score. Hopefully that's helpful. And if you guys have any thoughts or questions on how to make this better, we're all ears. Thank you very much.